Hello students, in FRBS syllabus, we have already studied the syllabus that is prescribed for us. In the prescribed syllabus, we have gone through the topic that is the reading and types of reading. Our next concern is to develop the reading ability. From reading ability, we have to move on to reading skills. But how the skills needs to be acquired? Before going into skills, it is quite implied that we must adopt the correct reading strategies, and for this, we we must we must go through the strategies that is developed and adopted by the reader. So, in what way we have to go through? See, I, Shailesh Bagdani, your teacher for English, is welcoming you. See what we have to comprehend in our reading strategies. As we have gone through the types of reading, reading needs a serious concern. You have to pay your attention, concentrate, use your linguistic skills, the earlier language skills, and it all helps in understanding the proper code the language is using for us. It's a different deep study that the language stands for, but for our understanding, it is better, it is always, as a student, to know at the very outset what are the reading strategies, in what way we have to go and read about. So, in the very first stage, we have to adopt the scanning process, the skimming process. Scan stands for just to move your eyesight on the piece of so-called passage or text. The text in front of you is your reading matter, the matter that you have to go and find out what is the length of the sentence, what are the major important words that you can find there, what are the subject related words that are giving clues to you. So, you have to adopt this strategy. Then we have to skim the passage. Skimming, it stands for to jump from the point, the major points, the words that gives us the idea about the subject. If you are trying to find out the subject from a particular field, suppose science is the field, your words, your eyesight will stop at the scientific words. If you are going to read about a passage on politics, you will find that what are the words that are related to the politics. So just skimming is just like a finding words that gives you the clue to the passage. To put in simple words, जेव्हा आपण एखाद्या रेल्वे स्टेशनवर किंवा बस स्टॉपवर जमलो असो, आपल्याला कुठे गावी जायचं असेल, तर आपल्याला हवी असलेली बस किंवा ट्रेन आपण वेळापत्रकामध्ये जशी शोधतो आणि तिचा वेळ शोधतो, त्या स्ट्रॅटेजीला, तशा प्रकारच्या वाचनाला स्किमिंग असं म्हटलं जातं. जे अपेक्षित आहे ते त्या ठिकाणी शोधणं म्हणजे स्किम करणं. तिथंच आपण थांबत नाही. पुढचे शब्द, पुढचा मुद्दा शोधण्यासाठी, पुढचा शब्द शोधण्यासाठी आपली आयसाइट जंप होते. That strategy is called as a skimming strategy. So, To find out the correct words from the particular field, you go through the scheming process. Then the next important type that you have to identify is the what is the central idea. What does these words stands for? What are the words that are used? Are they indicating something? So you need to point out the subject of the passage. So identifying the subject of the passage is the out of the scheming, out of the scanning process, you get somewhat some idea that this passage belongs to this field. ज्ञानाचे विषयाचं क्षेत्र कोणत्या क्षेत्रातील आहे? पॉलिटिक्स आहे, हिस्ट्री आहे, जोग्राफी आहे, सायन्स आहे, बायोलॉजी आहे, पत्रकारिता आहे, साहित्यामधले आहे, कोणत्या क्षेत्रातील आहे? That you can get here. Then identifying the subject. You can go through the subject, finding the subject. As you find the subject, your mind will change to interpret and understand the passage. It's a naturalization process. So identifying type of passage. Now the next important thing that is that you go through in what category the passage may be categorized. From which field? See how the language has been used. So when reading, you need to understand the type of passage. So passage you need to understand here. Identifying topic sentence. Identifying topic sentence. See, topic stands for the main idea, central idea. Generally, it is the first sentence of the passage that gives us the central idea of the passage, and that is what you need to find them out. So, it is the first so called sentence that is generally accepted as topic sentence. So, topic sentence needs to be identified. Then while going through the passage, you need to adopt the strategy. Read carefully. In the first reading, you just skim and scan. In the second reading, you can go through the understanding of the proper words and sentences and what makes the sense in totality. So, by reading, by going through the passage, you can achieve certain kind of understanding. You comprehend what is given there, what the central passage central point that the passage is discussing about. So, identifying these things, you will come to know that it is author's opinion or author is using someone's opinion. What the assertion, what is the strong point that he wished to convey. What are the views that are reflected? Whose views are these? What kind of philosophy? What message is given? So, if you are able to find these things out in the passage, it stands for finding opinions, views. If not, whose opinions, whose content, what is the assertion that has been made. So, you can go through this. Next is identifying register. Registers means this point is already discussed in our earlier lecture, that to identify the field. Suppose the politics is the field, the politics words, the words from politics, or suppose the words like politics, constituency, electoral process, candidate, Vidhan Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or upper house, lower house, these words will be repeated. So, technically speaking, political say field implies the use of words from politics. Central ideas of the passage. The central idea, what are the ideas? Are they many? Generally, a paragraph may contain one idea. A passage may contain a passage may contain more paragraphs. So, a passage may contain more paragraphs if the paragraph is discussing more than one. If the passage is discussing more than one point, then what are these points? What are the central ideas the passage is discussing about? So, we have to find them out. In each and every paragraph, we may have different ideas and different messages the author wish to convey to us. Then another aspect that we need to go through is rhetorical aspect. Rhetoric means how the whole passage is organized right from the beginning of the first sentence till to the end of the passage. If the comparison is being made, comparison is comparative language. If analysis is being made, the language of the passage is analytical. If there are some arguments and counter arguments are put forward, such ideas may be discussed. So, arguments, comparisons, content, analysis, contrast, compare and contrast, all these features that we see are used in the passage. So, in what way, in what language, all these features will be reflected in using these types of say called linguistic markers. Comparative words will be used, contrasting words will be used, analytical use of words, arguments if the views and opinions are compared and contrast, and analysis will be done. So, these rhetorical aspects and types of writing, all these features are surely reflected by the words. Descriptive, it describes, it goes on describes. Argumentative is argument, putting the two contrasting points together and having a discussion or having the explanation and counter explanations. Analysis is definitely will be analyzed, and critical, it stands for judgments. So, the writing will express judgments, opinions, सहमत असणं, असहमत असणं, मान्य असतं, मूल्यमापन करणं, टीका करणं, त्याचं स्टँडर्ड्स ठरवणं, all these features will be reflected in this type of writing, and these are rhetorical aspects of writing. So, as a student, we must read adopting these strategies. Whenever you are reading, read from these perspectives. There are more say strategies and what to comprehend in reading strategy. We will go through one by one. So, till now we have discussed some of these points, and these points needs to be thought over, these points needs to be adopted in our reading strategy. Each and every point is to be taken into account, thought over for longer duration. Take a pen and pencil, and what I expect from the particular point you have to identify on a piece of paper. So, write it down, try to find out in scanning, scheming what you need to do. Identifying subject, I indicated in my earlier discussion, you need to find them out. Identifying type of passage, what I told you in explaining this point, find this out. So, you will come to know that what strategy you need to apply. Use this opportunity for self study. Develop self study, develops our own self. If you are concentrating on each and every type of reading, definitely you will develop your own self. So, a good understanding, and that will be kept for a long while, not just for a year. So, self study helps boost our memory till we die. So, self study is always useful. So, by following these points, you will definitely come to a proper understanding of our subject. So, with these words, I conclude my video lecture. I will again post you the same video lecture on the same topic, what to read in and how to read in our earlier or tomorrow's video lecture. Thank you.